and welcome once again. All Takes Valid, episode 58. As always, I go by Trill Trayy, joined once again with SP21 or Spence, and my main man Vick Bynum. So, Vic, why don't you go ahead and give him a rundown for today's episode?
All right, so for today's episode, again, it's episode 58. Um, we'll be discussing we'll have three topics, which we'll be discussing the most electrifying player in NCAA history. Um, Obviously, we know a lot of people have the most common answer, but we may have an answer that might not be what many may think. One of us may have that. Second one, we'll be talking about Julio Jones. Obviously, that's the biggest topic around the league right now in the NFL. Pre-draft, um, Falcons are looking to trade him. So we'll be discussing in terms of the teams that are interested and who we think Julio will be going to. And the last one, second generation, we will discuss who we think will be the most, who will have the best rookie season. Again, it's pre-draft, but just despite all that, who we think has the most promise, um, no matter where they go, to say. So with that being said, most electrifying player in NCAA history, Spence, since we see your background, I guess we'll take your answer as Reggie Bush is your answer.
Well, I mean, let's just use crazy numbers. I mean, '05 to what? '08, he had like one of the craziest seasons. I mean, he led the league in rushing twice, Heisman winner, I believe twice. I mean, other than of course his quarterback Matt Leinart had one too. But I mean, think about it. In that time period that he was there, University of South California was the Trojans was a powerhouse. They developed a lot of people that were in the NFL at that time period. But man, when people think about Reggie Bush, you think about the highlights, the runs, the juke, the amazing plays that he able to pull out in thin air. So why not Reggie? I mean, yes, there were part where there were more players during his time period of playing were also electrifying. But when you think about NCAA, especially when if you play NCAA football, you 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 guys played with USC.
Okay. Trey, what are your thoughts? Who do you got?
To be honest, I think I have to agree with Spencer on this one. Um, if we're talking about most electrifying, yeah, Reggie Bush was something different. I mean, the hype for him coming into the league, I guess to say he didn't never reach the things he did in college in the NFL, but Reggie Bush in NCAA is might be second to none. Off the top of my head, I really can't. I know. I guess you got a different answer, Vic. So maybe you're going to enlighten me. But as far
Please.
back as I can think, yeah, it has to be Reggie Bush.
Hmm. Well,
Here we go.
I
Right.
do like I do like the answer. It is the most popular, just based off of like what he did that season. I think the thing that
Champion.
glorifies all of the success that Reggie Bush had, as Spence alluded to earlier, is the fact that um, him, Matt Leinart, just that whole team, um, they were a powerhouse, going to national championships. So obviously that it magnifies it to a whole nother level, which all due respect. Um, as y'all were saying, he had a pretty good. He didn't have as expected of a pro season, a pro career as we thought he would have. Now he did start clicking late in his career, but still, it's not the same as so my answer is different. Um, I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
Oh,
Uh,
surprise there.
I should have
surprise, right?
known.
Right? Right.
Why?
Surprise.
Why didn't it surprise
Now
me?
I looked at the numbers.
Oh, why did it
And I was just
surprise me?
like, man, like, why wasn't? And this happens with a lot of players in NCAA history because I looked at like Percy Harvin, Tavon Austin because I seen that he put up a tweet,
Mhm.
putting his list, and some of his numbers was nice, but you know compared to like Reggie Bush, you couldn't really compare it. Vince Young, Michael Vick, it was those numbers weren't really, too. Wasn't something that could really justify, making it so much a conversation. Now, his best season, Reggie Bush, 2005, he had 200 attempts for 1740. So that's a great year. 8.7 yards per carry, 16 touchdowns rushing, 37 receptions, 478 yards receiving, with an average of 12.9 per catch and 2 touchdowns through the air. Uh, so total scrimmage yards, he had 18 touchdowns, 22-18 for scrimmage yards. And Lamar Jackson, now he had 45 total touchdowns that season, 18 on the ground. He had rushed for 1601, 1601, just
Yeah.
clarify. Pass pass yards 3600 or 3660, 8.5 per pass, 27 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But the thing that, like I said, what's glorified is the fact that Reggie Bush, obviously, they won two national championships, almost a third if it wasn't for Vince Young and those Texans. But yeah, so I mean, my answer is Lamar Jackson. Again, they finished the season 8-5, which it sounds good, but you think about Louisville football, you don't really think about any position in particular. You don't think about them being known for quarterbacks. I mean, the last quarterback before Lamar Jackson was Teddy Bridgewater. He's been okay. Uh, but outside of that, you haven't really thought about any running backs, linemen, receivers, defensive backs. I'm pretty sure didn't Devonte Parker go to Louisville?
Yeah.
Or yeah, so I mean, but you know how his career has been as since y'all both are Miami Dolphins fans. But I just think personally, just off of the stats, the numbers, um, I mean, 45 total touchdowns, 1,600 on the ground,
It's not the same though.
3,600
Wait,
passing
wait, wait. Let
game.
me finish.
I mean, those are really good numbers. But again, in terms of like what most people consider, great, when you win a championship, people remember that. Especially if you're dominant all throughout your college career, which we've seen that with like saying um, guy that's coming out first round, Trevor Lawrence. He's been, he hasn't won a championship, but he has been on that national spotlight quite a bit. Um, so I mean, it just makes a big difference. Just like saying with Vince Young, if he didn't get to that national championship, he probably wouldn't have been as um, highly coveted to possibly be a first round pick. Um, just that magic that he brought to that whole Texas program. They just elevated his draft stock, and I mean, you see that same thing with Matt Jones. Like nobody was talking about him as a first round quarterback. It's just since that he won the championship for the NCAA, it's just put him on the pedestal to where it's
Your
like
friend
now
don't
he's getting,
do it.
huh?
San Fran don't do it.
So
We
I
already
mean,
talked about that, Trey. We already talked about that.
so I mean, with that being said, that's the only thing that it doesn't give Lamar Jackson the cred, just because of, hey, he does have good numbers, but in terms of like winning a championship with the program that he was at, that just didn't happen. That wasn't, yeah. But we all remember how he did them, the Florida State boys. I mean, that defense that they had over there, um, and just the the praise that Michael Vick was giving him before he got into the league, and people doubted it. They didn't so much respect it, and now and one MVP season later, I mean one MVP season in his 3 years in the NFL, and he's been one of the top, arguably 10, maybe five quarterbacks in the NFL, depending on your viewpoint.
Not
But
your list because you said he wasn't in your top five. But anyways,
Number
I said
6, looking
he
in.
was six. He was six. He was six. We had a great quarterback list last year. A lot of great production. So that's why he finished out at six just based off of production.
All right, you just talking and you talking about you talking about a bunch of nothing right now.
Wait. Hold on. I got a question.
Go ahead.
So did Lamar win a Heisman? This is not even a joking. Huh?
He did.
Okay. So what makes him more exciting than RG3? Because Baylor, because Baylor had nobody, and he won a Heisman, and they were in playoffs.
But he had a better
Louis
team.
wasn't in playoffs.
He had a better team though.
Baylor?
Yeah, Baylor had a better team.
Okay.
Was Baylor not doing things during those times?
Because RG3 was doing things.
But he did have some weapons. He did have, I believe it was one receiver that was in the first round, another one that was in the second round, I think, went to Cleveland. And then I don't know about the defense. I would have to look up that. That's a lot of information that I have to look up.
What does any of this have to do with Reggie?
We're talking about electrifying players.
Yes, exactly.
In college.
Yes.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson was electrifying in college.
He was, but to compare
exactly. Why are you over there looking like
to
crazy?
compare him to Reggie Bush though? It's not close. I'll take. He said RG3, but I'll take Vick over Lamar Jackson if we're talking about college electrifyingness. No, I'm taking Vick.
I'm just saying RG3. I just say RG3.
Are you crazy? Are you crazy?
Virginia Tech, Michael Vick over Lamar Jackson.
Y'all see that's the thing. Y'all sleep on like what Lamar did when he was at.
You don't understand. I've been watching Lamar since he did high school in Miami. The whole stop and watch the player run by and walk touchdown when he had all purple. Yes, I remember that Lamar Jackson. What you are crazy about is saying that he's more electrifying than this man who had 2 national championships, 2 Heismans.
I'm going up.
I don't even care about the accolades or whatever.
What season?
Because you don't have to win. We're talking about. You're right. Talking about being electrifying. Like if we were to play a Reggie Bush highlights next to Lamar Jackson highlights, I don't think it hit the same. I just don't think it does.
Well, we're gonna have to see about that because you might have to want to rewatch 2005 Reggie Bush.
Trey,
versus 2017 Louisville.
You know what it is?
I honestly, I wasn't even expecting to have Lamar Jackson in this conversation when I did the list because I did 10 players that was on the list that Tavon Austin had put up. And just looking at it, I was just like, look, the only one that you could probably make a conversation about is Lamar Jackson.
So Percy
Harvin, no, he doesn't even have like the numbers in all that. Like, we know what he did at Florida. He had, his moments, but his numbers compared to Reggie Bush.
I don't know. It's a lot of quarterbacks, though. Honestly, when I'm thinking back, that I might take over Lamar.
I like Tavon Austin's numbers better than Percy Harvin, based off of what I see right now. Because I went down through every player that was on the list, and I put their best season. on the paper.
But Trey, you know what it is? You know what it is?
We both know clearly what it is, the bias that he's speaking.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
no,
no
no,
bias.
not even that. Not even that. You know what it is? You know, he's hearing these rumors about Lamar's leaving. He's trying his best
And
to fold,
Bucky
to
Brooks.
push the pitch it like, yo, y'all need to keep him. No, he's our franchise. We need to keep him. I get it, Vic. I get it.
Look,
Fight for your quarterback.
Bucky, I'm gonna make a report just like Bucky Brooks made about the Baltimore Ravens and what they should do. Bucky Brooks
Okay.
is in a rehab center right now because he had took too many lines to the head before making that report. He was doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, talking about the Ravens are gonna they should trade Lamar Jackson. It's
An
a
open cap
system
space.
quarterback. I mean, you can say that about a lot of teams.
Of course.
Like that's like saying the Chiefs should trade away Patrick Mahomes and draft a quarterback. That's ridiculous. Like the offense,
but he's not tapping their wallets.
The offense before Lamar Jackson got to the Baltimore Ravens was disastrous. It was trash. There was no production, even with Joe Flacco his last year with the Ravens.
But y'all won
It
Super
was
Bowl.
hard to watch. We won. I'm talking about the last year, sir.
Okay.
Exactly. Like if Trey, you know, that offense sucked. It was
pretty good.
It was a prayer.
It was pretty good.
We were our anybody that watched. That's why Justin Tucker was so notorious because we were always praying that we get in field goal range and kick a dang field goal. Defense was saving our asses every day.
Hey,
but once Lamar Jackson came,
if you guys could
offense
revert
changed.
back to that, that would be great. Actually,
no, we don't need that. We don't need that.
I think you guys are going in the wrong direction with this Lamar Jackson running.
You guys,
balls.
I mean,
just
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Vic. You're throwing this. Hey, we need him.
Dilfer back. Matter of fact, like
bring, yeah. Trill, you would chill.
Dilfer, bring him back.
Trill Dilfer.
But look, hey, actually, let's touch on that real quick. So you talk about this electrifying this, right? But the two QBs who won y'all Super Bowls
ain't electrifying.
Very electrifying. So you doing it wrong. You getting away from what got you to the day.
That's a different topic.
You getting away from Baltimore.
No, because here's the thing. You bring up these accolades, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. See, you don't want the truth. I know. You don't want the truth. It's all right, man. It's all right.
Lamar Jackson has only lost, I think, 4 games in his 3-year playing career.
Yeah, but those are 4 key games.
It doesn't matter. 4 games.
Oh, those matter.
I'm just talking about just general, like he makes us a winning football team. And you can't so much say it's just Lamar Jackson as to why we've lost because his second year, even though he didn't have the greatest performance, the defense moved pretty big.
Hey, why does it turn into a Lamar Jackson?
I don't know. Y'all want to make it a Lamar Jackson?
I didn't make it.
No.
I just don't.
No,
think,
you made it.
I just don't think he's.
No, you made it.
More electrifying than Reggie Bush. That's all I said.
Okay, and I just I was stating about, but Spence over here instigating, trying to make it another topic that it shouldn't be.
Me?
You over here sailing
from
the topic.
Not me. Couldn't be.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. You named him one of the most electrifying players in NCAA.
One of, that's cool, but he said the most. That's the issue.
Oh, right. You're right. You said
one of is not the issue. One of is not the issue.
Right. He's saying the. My bad.
One of is
a
fact. The
right,
most.
right. The. I'm sorry. You're right. The most electrifying.
Yes, sir.
I need you. This is what I need you to do. I need you to go whenever you get back to Facebook. I need you to put a post and ask who you thought Lamar Jackson was the most electrifying man in NCAA.
Matter of fact,
and that list is going to
put it up now in the Great Sports.
Yeah, do that now.
Live right now.
Yeah, do that now.
I mean, we got people out here that believe that LeBron James is the GOAT,
and that's fine with the numbers that he put up, and they can do that argument.
My point is to each his own. Everybody
Right,
has
and he
their
can do it.
opinion.
But
That's it.
all right, you know what, Vic, you got it. I ain't gonna-
That's all I'm saying.
I ain't going down this. I ain't going down this rabbit hole with you. I'm not. I'm not. I picked Reggie Bush.
I took you
Trey
down
picked
far
Reggie
enough.
Bush.
I took
You
you
picked
far
Lamar
down enough.
Jackson.
I took you deep in that rabbit hole.
Listen, man. Trent Dilford and Joe Flacco gave y'all chips. I'm just
I mean,
saying.
if we have big play Shay out there, we'll be all right. Yeah, Shannon Sharp at tight end, big play Shay.
We'll see about that.
I don't think
We'll
it's.
see.
I don't think it's even gonna be a debate or a question. So I posted it now. It's 8:40. So before we end tonight, before
I
we
see
end
it.
recording, I'm gonna check back on this, and I'm
Okay.
gonna go through some of these comments
Please
because
do. Please
I
do.
don't know, Vic.
What was
I
what
don't
was the
know,
question?
Chief.
What was the question?
Who's
Who
more
was
electrifying?
more electrifying in college, Reggie Bush or Lamar Jackson? Simply put.
Oh, okay. So okay, all right,
It's nothing to confuse there. It's nothing to get the
all right,
question
cool,
confused.
cool.
All right, but with that being said, we could go on to the next topic. This guy's crazy. Yeah.
Y'all two are crazy, especially this one
All
on
right.
my right.
Well, yeah. Spence is a little. I'm surprised
I am
we
a
actually
little.
agreed on something, but
I know, right?
don't get used to it.
I won't.
All right, yeah. On to the next topic.